Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're working on a 2017 Ford Escape SE. We're doing front brake pads and front rotor replacement. We already did the passenger side. No, we already did the driver's side front. My bad. So we overhit the passenger side. First of all, you have to chalk your rear wheels. If you're doing the front, like so, get your jack, put it in position. You have an arrow with the lifting point right here. We have our jack and a block of wood so that we don't dent the frame. And then we have our car up on the jack stand like so, supported by a block of wood so that it doesn't sink in the ground. Next, I'm going to list the tools. You're going to need a dead blow mallet or a rubber hammer if you don't have one. I will refrain from using a sledgehammer just because you don't want to damage any metal components. You're going to need a wire brush. We're using a 3/8 electric ratchet wrench. We're using a 3/8 ratchet with a short 3-inch extension and a T45 bit, a flat blade screwdriver. We're using an electric 1/2-inch impact gun, and you're going to need a 3/4 socket. You're going to need a I'm using a pulley bar. You can use a cheater bar if you don't have a long. I have a 3-foot pulley bar, and this is a 1/2-inch click type torque wrench or torque ratchet, my bad. You're going to need some brake cleaner, some penetrating oil, there's some brake caliper grease, and there's some antiseize. I like to put that on parts to keep them from rusting like you see here. Okay, so first step, folks, you're going to locate the caliper pins, and they're inside of this rubber tab. You can use a pick tool or your fingernail like I did and take those out. One at the top of the caliper and one down below. That one, for whatever reason, is not in there. Next, we're going to use our 3/8 ratchet with the T45 on it. We're going to turn it counterclockwise like so. We broke it loose. And then we're going to take out the lower one, stick it in the hole, counterclockwise, loosen that one as well. Next, we're going to take our 3/8 ratchet, electric ratchet wrench. Check it, make sure that it's in reverse. Stick it on there. Okay, we got that one out. And we're going to go to the bottom. Take that bottom one out. And that's where you need your flat blade screwdriver. We're going to stick it in there behind the caliper pin and just push it out very gingerly. And see it right here. It just came out. We're going to do the same thing on the bottom. We're going to push that one out. Try to get to where you guys can see it. See the threads right there? We're just going to take it and push it out like so. Stick the screwdriver in there and push it out, okay? So next, what you want to do is you look at this clip right here. It's very simple. Take your screwdriver, stick it behind there, pry against the brake pad, and we're going to remove this clip. hard to do this with one hand. Okay. So we got the clip out, just stuck it behind that ear and pried it off of the caliper. Next, stick the screwdriver, the same screwdriver, stick it in there, and we're going to pry off the caliper. Like so. Go from the top to the bottom. We're going to pry that off. You can stick the screwdriver in there if you don't have the twist type caliper bushing, and you can press against the caliper right here against the rear brake pad, and then you can press it in to loosen it up if you're struggling a little bit. But okay, so next, we're gonna do a little wiggle on the caliper to get it out, like so. Now you have the caliper out with the rear brake pad. We're gonna take our tool in a minute and get that off. Look at the way that your outer pad is to make sure when you put the new one on there that the ears are in there just like so. Those are the ears that I'm referring to. You can remove that. See, it was worn out. Still had a little bit of pad, but these were cheap ones with the brake that's stuck in there. All right, so next we're going to look at these big bolts right here in the caliper bracket, and we're going to remove those with that 3/4 socket. But before we do that, we're going to make it easy, and we're going to turn the steering wheel towards the outside of the vehicle so that we can expose those bolts. And before you do that, we're going to use our penetrating fluid and spray it a little bit on those bolts. Then we're going to turn the steering wheel to free up that wheel. So we're just turning the steering wheel towards the passenger side, so that way it'll expose those bolts like so, and we can get to them with our gun. So next we're going to take our pry bar, or not pry bar, our breaker bar, and that 3/4 socket with the 1/2-inch extension, and we're going to pop those bad boys loose like so. And see, it makes it so easy by doing it that way. I don't know if you guys can see that, but see, by doing the wheel towards the outer edge, you can just put the breaker bar on there with the socket and break those bad boys loose. Now we're going to switch to our impact gun and make this quicker. This whole thing will probably take you a good 30 minutes to change this rotor and brake pads first side. So now we have that off. We'll sit that to the side and clean it up in a little bit with the wire brush and the brake cleaner. So now we have that off. Next, if your rotor is stuck on there, which this one is, with that rust, spray a little bit of penetrating fluid right there on the outer edge of the knuckle. Well, I say knuckle. take your dead blow hammer and just hit it. Knock that dust off, that rust and that dirt. And see how that freed that up? Next, you take that off. See, that rotor's been getting ate up. The other one was way worse than that. But next, what you want to do is take your wire brush and clean up any and all rust that's on here. All on here, on the knuckle, on the brackets right here. Just clean that rust up. We're going to clean up this caliper bracket from the rust and the debris. And then we're going to put everything back on there with the brake pads. So stay tuned. So we have everything cleaned up. Now what we want to do is we want to take our antiseize and we want to put it on the outer rim of the knuckle, like so. And that'll just prevent, well, it's not going to 100% prevent rust, but it'll help prevent rust, as you can see, from forming on those same areas on the back of that new rotor. So in the future, when that thing needs to be changed out, it won't be stuck on there from the rust. And all I'm using copper antiseize. Normally I use zinc, I believe it is, but this is just copper antiseize thread guard. If you mess around and put some on your lug nuts, it's on your lugs, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's just rust preventative. All right, so now we got that cleaned up. We got the antiseize on there. We have the bracket cleaned up, like so. We're going to install it in the reverse of how we took it off. But first we have to get the new rotor and put it on. So stay tuned, folks. Here's the new rotor. That's the part number 621691 RGS. It came from O'Reilly Auto Parts. Those are the brake pads. This is the brake pad removal tool for the caliper. It's very simple to do. You just take and it came in a brake repair kit. You just take and stick this on there against that pad. This goes on the outer edge of the caliper right here, and then you turn it and it presses it in. All right. So now what we're doing is installing the new rotor. So you want to take it out of the box, which is what we're doing. Take your brake cleaner and spray the rotor to get any factory oil off of there, any contaminants like so. And I use brake cleaner because it's gonna dry a whole lot faster than carburetor cleaner. All right, spray that again with the brake cleaner. Wipe it down. Some paper towel. See how that's dry. That rotor up. It was kind of shiny looking when we first installed it. All right. Next, we're gonna take our bracket. This is the way that your bracket go in there. Pay attention when you take it off. Or take a picture before you take it off. But this is the way we took it off. This is the way we're gonna put it back on there. So we're just taking it and we're sticking it over the rotor like so. See the holes in the back. Make sure they line up. Get your bolts. Get one bolt and get it started. Take your bolt, get it started. Get your other bolt, get it started. Get it started hand tight as best as you can. Then take your impact gun, or you can use a ratchet. You don't have to use an impact gun. Tighten those bolts up. Right. Then we're gonna go back behind ourselves with the click tight torque wrench. We have the torque wrench set on 75 foot-pounds, and we're just gonna let you hear that click. Like so. Do it again. Do the other one again. Okay. So next, we want to take our brake removal tool, brake pad removal tool right here. We're going to stick it inside of the caliper housing. So all we did here was we took our tool and we stuck it down, slid it down inside of the caliper. And see, it's up against the brake pad. And we're just going to twist it and tighten it up. And it's going to press that caliper in. Try to film this for you guys while I do it. It's kind of difficult to do this one-handed. what we're doing, folks, is we have that in there. As you can see, it has pushed that caliper in almost completely all the way, but I'm gonna try to film it for you with one hand, but we're just twisting it like so. It's flush right there, and now we can remove the brake pad. Take that out. Take your hand and pop the pad out. And some clips on the back of yours, like so. All right, we'll toss that to the side. Next, you're gonna get your wire brush and clean the caliper up. And just for safety, little warning, you may want to get you a dust mask and some goggles to prevent the brake dust from going into your eyes or your lungs while you're doing this. Especially if you're not used to working on vehicles. What we're doing, we're knocking a lot of that brake dust off of there that was down inside of the caliper. That way you don't hear any of that squeezing and squealing and squeaking and all of that mess going down the road. Alright, we got that cleaned up. Now we're going to take our brake cleaner. We're just cleaning everything up. I don't have a drip pan or oil pan up underneath the vehicle, so as you see, it's just going straight into the soil. But get you a piece of cardboard or drip pan or something and stick up underneath there to save the environment, save the earth. So now, as you can see, that's cleaned up, looking brand new. Next, we're going to stick the new pad in there. It's like this, kind of crescent moon shape. I'm going to take it, flip it over this way, with that being on the back side of it. We're going to take and just pop it into the new slot. Like so. Just took and put it in kind of at an angle and then popped it in. Don't mind my gloves, folks. Don't mind my gloves. So next, we're going to take the front one that looks like this with the two big ears on it, kind of look like a Batman symbol. We're going to take it, flip it around this way, and we're just going to stick it in the slot right there. See those? It's an ear right here and an ear right here. We're just going to stick it in there like so on those ears. And then we have to do the same thing on the back. But it's a little bit tougher on the back to do it because you have to hold the caliper and press it up under there. But before we do the back, let's go ahead and stick us some caliper grease on these pins because they're dry. caliper grease. Just gonna put a little bit on there. Rub it around. Same thing on this one. If it slide, take and stick those back into the guide holes on the back. Like so. Stuck them back into the guide holes right there. Alright guys, so we're gonna take the caliper, take it around with the brake pad in the back of it, and put it into the position. Watch those ears. Try and stick that bad boy on there with one hand. All right. Try to start the caliper pins. Got that one started. Look at the brake pad right down in there. If you guys can see, it's on that lip. It's up against that bracket right there. On that lip. Now check it at the bottom. See it right there on that lip. So we're gonna go ahead and do the one on the bottom. Back up to the top. All right. Gotta be careful when you're doing it with an electric tool or air tool, because you don't want to over tighten those bolts, because they can snap off and break, and then you'll be in a world of hurt, folks. A world of hurt. So now, excuse me for grunting and groaning, but I'm old. And now I'm gonna hand tighten those same bolts right there, those caliper pin bolts. All right, try that bottom one again. Okay, folks. So again, before you go to put the wheel on and do all that stuff, check behind yourself and make sure that your pad, see it right there, it's on that bracket at the top, on that bracket at the bottom. It looks good. Same thing right here. It's on that bracket at the top, on that bracket at the bottom. Looks good. Got that tightened and the lower one tightened. We got the caliper bracket tightened down and torqued. So next we want to take that clip right here that we took off. Excuse me. And you should be able to stick that on there by hand. You should be able to. But if not, use your flat blade screwdriver. So what you want to do is, this ear, the long ear goes right here on the caliper bracket. This side goes on the inside. So what we're going to do is we stuck it as you can see in the middle. Then I'm going to take my hand and I'm going to pull the bottom. I'm going to pull the bottom out. I'm trying to with one hand. I guess I do the top first. I'm going to pull the top out. It's a little bit frustrating to do with one hand, but you get the gist of what I'm trying to tell you. Stick it through the middle, and then I'm taking one ear. Don't matter which ear. I'm taking one ear, and then I'm going to pull it out. Let me set this camera down. All right, so I'll put my gloves back on, and then, excuse the sniffing, folks, but it's cold out here in beautiful South Carolina. All right, so we got the bottom out. Then we're going to come over here to the top, get our screwdriver, and I'm pressing against this. While I pull that top ear out. All right. We were able to do it by hand, just had to use both hands. All right, so there you have it. We put the middle in first, took our hand and held the middle, then we pulled the bottom ear out, then we pulled the top ear out, and it's in there securely. There you have it. Rotors installed, new brake pads installed, everything's tightened up. We're going to take and put our wheel on now, folks. After we put our wheel on, we're going to torque it, and then we're going to go in and pump the brakes about 30 times with the foot pedal, and then we're done. Let's turn that wheel back out so we can install that tire. So what we're doing now is installing the tire. We'll take and put one hand under the tire at 6 o'clock, and another hand in 11 o'clock position, and twist it around to 12 o'clock to get it to line up on those lugs. And we're taking it and installing the lug nuts, hand tight, just to get it snug, one by one. Okay. So next we're gonna get our gun and tighten this bad boy down in a star-shaped pattern. So we started on the left, then we're gonna go down to the bottom right, and we're gonna go up to the top left, then we're gonna go down to the bottom middle, and we're gonna go back up to the top right. There you have it. We're going to switch our torque wrench now. All you do is twist this bottom right here. Twist that bottom and then look at your dial and you twist that dial into whatever number you're looking for. So we're looking for 110 foot-pounds. So we're going to twist it, twist it, twist it around till we get to 110 foot-pounds. Which is where it currently is. Can you see that? The 0 is lined up with the line and is on the 110 foot mark. And we're going to tighten up. So the scissors wheel on the bottom. We're going to lower the wheel. Lower the wheel. And then we're going to torque each one of those at 110 foot-pounds. You heard that click. We're going to go in the star-shaped pattern again. Except this time we're going to go up. We're going to go down. We're going to go back up. We're going to go back down. And you're just doing a cross pattern. You don't have to do it in the same exact cross pattern that I did, but just so long as you do it in a cross pattern so that each one of those lugs are tightened appropriately. So right here we're going to the top middle. We're going to go to the bottom. And we're going to go back up top. We're going across. And we're going back down. All right, so now we're going to enter the vehicle. We're going to let the seat back so that we can reach the pedal. And you should see that pedal to start off with. The brake pedal right there by my foot. Go all the way down, like so, real easy. And then it just got tight real quick. Like that, I can barely press it. Alright, so there we go with 10 pushes. Oh, gonna crank the car up. Gonna make sure that the car actually has brakes. There you have it. It's going and stopping. Okay, folks, thanks for watching. I hope that you find this video helpful on your 2017 Ford Escape model SUV front and or rear brake pad replacement. Please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace.